Hey there, welcome back to my channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Tiffany. I'm a Washington realtor who has a love for creating beautiful spaces on a budget. Today, I am headed off to my favorite place to help do just that, the Goodwill Outlet or the Goodwill bins. I'm going to be searching for home decor items. If you haven't been here before, the way this works is you pay for items by the pound. I did come away with some project pieces, so I'll show you what I did with those. I'll show you how I might style some of the items, and in the end, as always, I will share exactly how much I spent. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you guys enjoy. Today I'm starting here over in the furniture section, and items here are actually not priced by the pound. These are priced individually. Right off the bat, when I got in the door, I spotted these stools and I was happy to snag those up. This table here was really cute, but I felt like it was priced a little high for the condition. This nightstand here looked to be solid wood, and I'm sure it would be really cute if I did a little makeover on it. If you're patient and if you're willing to put work into pieces, you can find some really nice nightstands or side tables here. And now I'm over in the main part of the store where items come out in bins and you pay by the pound. It's not uncommon for me to find items new with tags still on them. This basket here was missing a handle, and that's pretty common. What I would do if I were to purchase this is I would just remove that existing handle, and then I have a nice usable basket. Sometimes items are really tangled up with other items in the bin, and you have to decide if it's worth the effort to untangle it and get it out. If I were to purchase this candle, I would just turn that writing to the back, and then I have a nice neutral candle. One great way to save is to pick up seasonal items like Easter baskets here. This is also a great place to pick up things like hangers. And once again, this is a new unused item. Here, they are rotating out a couple of rows of bins. So when they do this, everyone lines up and waits until all of the new bins are in place. And once they are, someone says shop and everyone digs in. Sometimes it can get a little crazy. Some shoppers definitely do get a little aggressive, but for the most part, most people are fairly courteous of one another. Doesn't fall under the category of home decor, but stick with me and I'll show you what I'm thinking. I don't have a use for all of this wired ribbon here, but when I noticed the prices on the top, I decided I might as well go ahead and pick it up. No one else was, and I am going to sell these. There was a retail value of $230 on this ribbon. When I spotted this, I thought the round pieces could work as feet for a tray, but I decided to utilize that handle and attach it to this here. I had twine that I had picked up on a previous shopping trip to the Goodwill Outlet, and I am just threading it through. And then here I'm just making sure that I'm getting it centered. And I'm using this nail here to help push that thread through. Once through, I'm just tying it here in the back. Initially, I just tied it in a bow to make sure that I liked the tightness and the height of the handle. I later knotted it off and removed the excess string. Here I'm using a white wax. I'll show you in a bit here that product. When using this product, you will smell it for about 24 hours, and then once it has dried, that scent tends to go away. But I really do like this product, and I will have this linked down in the description below, along with any other products that I use in this video so you can check them out. Once it was applied, I wiped off any excess. Here is the before and here's the after. I am really happy with how this turned out. I am actually using this in my office, and it is helping to keep papers off of my counter and off of my desk, which is a win in my book. Next, I found what appeared to be a broken plant stand. So I snagged one of those pieces, and I am going to be converting it into a paper towel holder. So first I just marked the height that I wanted and took it out to cut it. And now that top piece needs to match the rest. So I am using my stain pens here. I'm just testing on the bottom to find the color that I want to use. And these things, if you don't have any, they are wonderful to have on hand for little projects like this. Again, I will have them linked down in the description below if you want to go check them out. This bowl here was a threshold bowl from Target. It was really nice. I liked the finish on it, but it did have some damage. So I had a plan for this one as well. First, I just marked the center and I am drilling a hole. This was originally from Crate & Barrel. This was a base, and it is meant to have a cloche or a dome lid on top of it, and that was missing. So again, I'm going to repurpose this. I marked the center of this as well, and I am drilling into this, but not through it. Next, I'm putting a fresh coat of paint on it to give it a nice clean finish. Now I am attaching these two together, and now we have a modern decorative stand. I believe this was a lid for a hamper or something. I didn't see a bottom to it. So here I'm cutting the handle off. And here is that finishing wax that I had mentioned. This is Jolie white wax. I'm using a paintbrush to brush this on to help get it into the little crevices in the basket here. Next, I have mixed up some paint and water to the consistency of milk, and I'm going to be brushing this on. Now, the color that I used here is just something I had on hand. It is actually my wall color, which is Revere Pewter. Next, I'm wiping off any excess paint. Now, of course, this could be used as a tray, but another way that you can use it is if you have a little space that just needs some texture or a little extra height to it, you can use items like this for that purpose. I like to keep my mugs on display. Not only are they decorative, if I have a large group of people over and they're looking for mugs, they don't have to wonder where they are. Next, I found these large outdoor candles. These were originally from Party Light. And these here, I wasn't sure exactly what they were. Once I got them home, I looked them up and I discovered that they are pet dish holders, but I thought they were really pretty and they worked well as bases for these candles. I'm a big fan of saving space where I can, and one really simple way to do that is by using these collapsible colanders or strainers. This Lazy Susan turntable I picked up with the intention of using for my spray painting projects. This was one of my favorite finds of the day. I just love the texture on this piece. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that I am drawn to neutrals. If you too are drawn to neutrals and you're wondering how to decorate your home without color and have it not be boring, one way to do that is to bring in textures. They can go a long way in adding visual interest to a space. Next, I found this cute growth chart, but I wasn't fond of the orange tones in this wood, and it did need a little TLC. First, I am filling those holes in that wood. Now, when you pick up wood filler, if you are painting or staining, make sure that it is paint and stain friendly. Next, I sanded this down. And here I'm using some special walnut stain that I had on hand. I used this a lot throughout my house. I tend to just go out in my garage and see what products I have and experiment with them and see what happens. Next, I used a 50-50 mix of these paints, and again, I mixed it with water until it was the consistency of milk. Here, I brushed this on, and before it had the chance to dry, I wiped it off. here is the before, and here's the after. This is a very simple technique for eliminating the orange or yellow tones in the wood, but still keeping that wood look. This little guy here, I thought he was cute, but he kind of reminded me of a toy, and I wanted to see if I could kind of class him up. First, I tried to remove those eyes. They were glued in there very well, so I ended up taking a jigsaw to them and then sanding them down. And we'll come back to him in a minute and I'll show you how he turned out. Next, I painted the base of this here. This piece here had a price tag on the bottom of $24.99. Here I'm using my paintbrush to add a little extra snow or a flocking to this tree here. Next, I mixed these two colors here to create a gray-green. And here's how they turned out. Next, I picked up this boho plant stand. It's really cute as is. If you are not so much into the boho style, I feel like if you wanted to make it a little less style specific, you could remove those legs and be left with something that is a little more neutral. This fall planter was cute, but I wanted to try to tone down that pattern a little bit, so I decided to try doing kind of a whitewash on it. But I wasn't loving how it was turning out, so I decided to try dabbing the paint on there and giving it some more texture. But again, I just wasn't thrilled with how it was turning out. So then I decided to take some of that leftover gray paint from before, and I am brushing that on. That's how most of my DIY projects go. I course correct when something doesn't go quite like I want it to, and we just see what we end up with. Here I'm using this greenery that I also picked up at the Goodwill Outlet. Now, I obviously don't have enough to completely fill this decorative planter here, but what I'm doing is just putting it in the visible parts so that if this were up above eye level on a high shelf or something, it would appear as though it had enough greenery in it. Because this basket here was new with tags on it, I didn't look it over well. It is structurally sound, but it's pretty rough cosmetically, so learn from my mistake. Be sure to really look over your items before you check out. Next, I found this pampas or pampas. I found this grass here, and I actually had this in my Amazon cart, so I was excited to save some money there. Next, I found these florals, and I decided to mix them in. Once these were in the vase, I set them out in the sun, and that helps them to fluff up. This board here I thought was really nice. I liked that detail of that stripe down the center, and this of course could be used as a charcuterie board or a cutting board, or in this case as a tray. I liked the nice clean lines on this, and this I may leave as is. I may remove that finish or I may paint them, just depends on what space it ends up in. And these florals here will be fun to decorate with in the spring. Now, I have never made candles before, but I frequently find these votive candles, and I find that I don't tend to burn votive candles, but I do burn jar candles. So my thought was to take my leftover or pretty containers and melt these down and make some new candles. And I always like to pick up practical items like this for future use. And last but not least, we have these bar stools. I decided to go over these with my upholstery cleaner. This is a Bissell Little Green. If you happen to have little ones in your life, this is a wonderful thing to have on hand. It is highly used in our house. And here you'll notice some pilling on this fabric. This here, it's not only great for getting pilling off of clothes, it works great on furniture as well. Again, if you are interested in one of these, I will have this linked down in the description below. And one trick, if you find bar height stools, but you need them to be counter height, you can cut them down. We have done this before. You just take a level and mark those legs, or even better, if you happen to have a track saw, you can cut those down. And there you have it. Now, before we get to the total of what I spent this day, if you enjoyed this video, would you please do me a big favor and hit that thumbs up button, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss future videos. Before tax, for those bar stools over in the furniture section, I spent $13.98. And then over in the main part of the store, I spent $52.78. This brings me to a total of $66.76 for all of these items, plus the ribbon that I forgot to include in this final shot here. I hope you feel encouraged that you too can create beautiful spaces on a budget. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.